This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning and welcome to INCRadio Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio. I am Sister Elisa, your host this morning. Today is Saturday, December 14. Before we continue, I'd like to shout out those early birds in our chat this morning. So we have Brother Lionel tuning in. We have Brother William Barrero, Sister Nidel Anibara, Sister Grace Galarpe, Brother Marvin Sabas, Brother Ajik Dulay, Sister Lainey B, Brother Alberto Santos, Brother Sidney Santos, and Sister Genesis and Oliver, and Sister Perla Relente, and Brother Richard Soterio. So good morning to everyone tuning in. And for our discussion today, we are going to talk about how life is on a different coast where winter can be a little bit different from how winter is in the East Coast. But before we continue, you know the drill. We will be playing our icebreaker on scrambling the word. So if we could see our first scrambled word for this morning, let's see. And I'd like to see if our guest this morning would know what this one is. So we have the letters R, T, E, W, and I. So while we wait for the chat to think about it as well, we have Brother Lionel and Brother Marvin here with us this morning.
I was thinking twine, but I don't know where the R goes.
That's pretty close. I think I know the answer, but I'll let the chat get a quick second or two before I spoil it.
I think the chat's already got it.
Oh, yeah, the chat already got it.
Okay, winter.
Woo! Yes, correct. Wow! Shout out to, we have William Barrera, Sister Grace Galarpe, Amelia Salazar, Lainey saying winter, and Sister Perla saying winter as well. So they got it correct. Now let's look at the next word. I feel like this could be a little bit tricky, in my opinion, even when I was looking at it.
I think I know what it is. Let's see if the chat knows. Do you know?
I think I unscrambled it too.
Oh, wow. That was quick. I said it could be a little tricky too. Okay. Let's see.
I think I'm starting to get a hang of this.
We also have those tuning in, Arnie Jane D. DY, and Sister Sita Velasco in the chat with us, Sister Michelle Santos, and she also said her answer. So what's your answers, brothers, before we read?
At the same time. Let's try to do this. Let's try at the same time.
Without counting down. We'll just try to say it at the same time. Travel.
Oh, correct. So we have Sister Michelle, Sister Grace, Sister Allison, Sister Lainey, Sister Sita, Sister Amelia Salazar all saying travel. Let's move on to the third word. I think the third word's cool because it makes a word, but it's a different word.
I got it.
Oh, really?
Imagine I say space.
That's pretty fast, guys. Okay, let's see. Let's wait for the chat.
E-space.
We also have Brother Nicolai Rivera in the chat with us this morning, Brother Danilo Yumo, so Brother Daniel Sakules, Brother Nathaniel Russell, thank you for tuning in. We have Sister Michelle again saying the word, and so we also have many more saying the answer. So would you like to say it again at the same time?
Escape.
We weren't in sync that time.
Correct. So escape because we're escaping the winter weather a little bit. Okay, last one, last one. I kind of gave it away. I said it. I don't know if you heard it though.
I think I caught it.
You
Yeah,
got it,
I
Brother
think I got
Lionel?
it too.
What? You guys are actually fast. Okay, let's wait for the chat before we move on. Let's
Oh,
see.
I'm sorry. I got to shout this one out. I got a greeting
Mm-hmm.
from Arnie Jane. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, even though we've been talking for a while. Oh man. She says hi, Lionel. Hi, Arnie.
Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. And so yes, we have Sister Lainey, Sister Perla, we have Sister Amelia, Sister Allison, Sister Grace, Sister Danilo saying all the answers. So would you like to say it at the same time again?
Weather.
Weather.
Okay, awesome. Thank you,
Weather,
everyone.
weather.
Thank you for joining our icebreaker or unscrambling the words. Now let's get into our main discussion. So, would you like to introduce yourself, brothers, your name, and your local congregation?
Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Brother Lionel Ornado from the District of Washington, D.C., locale congregation of Anne Arundel.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brother Marvin Sabas. I'm also from the local congregation of Anne Arundel.
Okay, they are representing Anne Arundel today. So I know these faces could be familiar, but also unfamiliar because they have not been in our district for more than 5, 10 years. So would you like to tell us where you guys are originally from? Let's start with Brother Marvin.
Sure. So before I traveled to this wonderful and unstoppable district, I came from the District of Washington State from the locale of Bellevue. So it's in the Pacific Northwest of the United States.
And before I moved here just last month, I used to be in the District of Orange County, California.
Oh, so
Locale of Montclair. I do miss my home locale back home.
shout out to them. So, West Coast. I've only been to the West Coast, so I want to learn a few things about it. So, before I ask about the weather and how the winter is, how long have you guys been living here in the East? Did I ask that? No.
Well, I was here. I just moved here last month, and Brother Marvin's been here longer, I think.
Yeah, I moved here in January 2022. So I'm coming up on my 3-year anniversary milestone of being
Mm,
in this district.
awesome. East Coast. I hope you guys really enjoy it here in the East Coast. And now for with that, how many times have you experienced snow overall? Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, there could be times you guys went to a different location where there could be snow. So how many times have you experienced that, Brother Marvin?
I would say not too many times compared to everyone here, most likely. In Washington State, it does snow, but not nearly as hard as here. The main theme there is rain and gray skies, but not too much snow. So I would say since I've been here, I've had 2 strong winters.
Hmm. What about Brother Lionel?
So back in Southern California, it very rarely ever snowed, unless you went to the mountains, because a lot of Southern California is pretty flat, and then there's just these giant mountains like off in the north of Southern California. Um, so not too much snow experience in California, but I have experienced it snowing, ironically, here in the East Coast when I traveled here to this side of the country a few years ago.
Oh,
But there was that one time, like a really long time ago, where it snowed in Montclair. That was like almost 10, 15 years ago.
oh,
So not too
cool.
much experience with snow,
Mm,
but I'm excited. But also not because it's much colder here in where
yes.
we are.
Yes, even for me, I feel like the weather this winter has been really cold compared to the past winters. I don't know, maybe it's just me. So, you guys living in the West Coast, how does living in on a coast with no snow impact your daily life and routine?
I would say in Washington State, where the main cities like Seattle, where it can snow and create this effect of black ice for the street, I would suggest having snow tires for sure because you will hydroplane and slide. I think last year there was a common theme of cars trying to get away with that without having proper equipment, and they would slide along the sidewalks in Seattle because they underestimated the slipperiness of the street. So
Mhm.
that's something I haven't had encountered here yet. How about in Southern California?
Um, really, we just put on another jacket.
That's
um,
that's it.
yeah,
That's the only difference.
yeah, because winters back in Southern California wasn't really too cold. I think
Mhm.
like the highs of our winters here, which is like around 60 Fahrenheit, probably even lower, like around 40 Fahrenheit, is how cold it gets during in the middle of the night over there. So it's much warmer back in Southern California.
Nice. And what are some activities or hobbies you enjoy in a snow-free environment or even in a warmer winter environment?
I think for us, it's usually when we would go. Sometimes we would do hiking because it's colder. Um, Even during like in the middle of the day, we could go on a hike or a nature walk and adventure because during this in the middle of the summer, it's like hot. Is like dry hot. It's not as like and there's like barely any clouds.
Mm-hmm.
So the summer, while yes, it would be nice to go out and like do things. Personally, it's too hot for me.
Oh wow, really? Oh wow, because for me, I actually visited California this year, and one thing about it, I was like, I really love the heat here because I don't feel sticky or humid, because our heat here is like, for me, it's like bad. I'd rather just stay home, but the heat in California, I felt really nice. What about you, Brother Marvin? What are some activities you enjoyed?
A common theme I've just thought about is along the West Coast, everyone loves the hiking environment. And I haven't had that too much here, besides going to one of the state parks nearby in Northern Virginia. So even in the winter time, you don't have to layer up too much over in the Pacific Northwest. You just need
Mm-hmm.
to have the right gear to not become too much colder and get hypothermia because of the rain. So as long as you have waterproof material, then you're good
Mm-hmm.
to go.
Oh, that's true. I feel it. Well, for me, I don't know much about Cali weather like that, like West Coast weather. But I feel like our East Coast fall weather is what West Coast weather is. You think, Brother Marvin? If I mean, I feel like you're more experienced with the fall here.
Oh yeah, I love the fall here. I think it's the season, the part of the year I look most forward to in the East Coast, and I would say that's what it's like year round in Southern California, the
Hmm.
fall here, and then the winter time in Washington State is harsh. So, if you've ran into anyone who doesn't like gray skies, Washington State is not for you because you will not see a speck of sunlight from the months of November to February.
Oh wow! So even what about in the springtime though? Like
It's
it's
beautiful.
just oh, so
Washington
it's
State,
mostly in the winter time
yeah,
that's like
it's just winter
really.
time. Don't visit there during winter.
Ah, got it, got it. So, do you think people living in the West Coast have a different attitude toward winter or the changing seasons, and how so, Brother Lionel?
Well, I think in Southern California, we only get a true winter for like 2 weeks because it's summer almost year round there. Um, as for like the attitude towards winter, it's like once the colder months come around, for me it's like, oh, I get to wear the other half of my closet now because it's just full of like jackets and coats. Um, but as for like the attitude of or I think yeah, because in Southern California there's not much like changing of the seasons.
Hmm.
Like there's like it's like summer for like 50% to 80, 50 to 60% of the year, and then the last 30% is like the other 3 seasons like crammed in there.
Mhm. What about Brother Marvin? Because with Washington, you said in the wintertime it gets really gloomy. I feel like that for me, it would be really bad because gloomy, I feel like I just want to sleep and stay home. How do
Yeah,
you?
I would say the folks over there to prepare for the winter, we get vitamin D pills so that we get that source of nutrition, I guess, or vitamins that you need to balance out what our bodies need with health. And the wardrobe there is so much different from the wardrobe here, from what I've experienced. I wear heavier layers here compared to Washington State. Over there, it's mainly just about waterproofing yourself.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually, coming here from Southern California, I was like, okay, I need to get another jacket from here because it's kind of built for
mhm.
it. One of the things that I got was like those puffer jackets. I usually don't like those because it's like it feels a bit constricting because like I prefer to like close my arms
Mhm.
closer. But then with the puffer jacket, it's like, oh, I gotta. There's like 500 layers of whatever material there is.
That's true. But I feel like layering is fun. It's cool.
Layering is helpful.
hmm So if someone were to travel to the West Coast and it's their first time, what kind of clothes should they pack? Because for my visit, I was struggling with packing because I was like, what if it's too cold or too hot and I'm not bringing the right jacket or sweater or shorts, with that? What should they pack?
I would say the first thing you should do is check the weather. Because I've known people who don't check the weather and they're like, "Oh, it's raining today." I'm like, no, of course. Did you not check the weather this morning?
What about you, Brother Marvin?
On top of checking the weather, at least for West Coast, you don't have to think as hard, honestly. Just wear a first layer a shirt and then a second layer jacket or a hoodie with some
Mhm.
sweatpants, and you're good to go.
That's
And
true.
then if it's raining hard, then just get something waterproof. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
I think the temperature in the West Coast is a lot more stable, at least from day to day, or from even week to week or month to month. Of course, it gets hotter in the summer and colder in the winter, but like I think the temperature is a lot more stable and narrower in range between
I
the
see.
hottest summer and the coldest winter.
Okay. But with the weather thing you said, see, let me explain myself. So I did check the weather while I was packing, but in my head, I was like, okay, it's 70 degrees there. What does their 70 degrees feel like? You know? It's like,
Mm,
what if the 70 degrees feel different for me than for them? So I feel like
That's
that's
fair.
my reasoning, but great
that's fair.
tips.
One
Great
thing,
tips, brothers.
yeah, one thing for Southern California is that um, it's usually sunny year round. It's very like most of the year, even during the winter months, it's pretty sunny. So usually when I check the weather and I see like, oh, it's so and so degrees Fahrenheit, I usually add like 5 degrees warmer because of the sun.
Oh, makes sense. Okay, nice. Okay, for the last question, and knowing how the winter is in the West and East Coast, which would you prefer and why? Let's start with Brother Lionel with the less experience of the East Coast.
Um, it's kind of like trying to choose two. It's having me choose because so winter here, I guess it's still sort of romanticized in my head because I haven't really experienced it, and from what I've heard is, um, yes, it's nice for like the first day or two, but afterwards it's just like, oh, can it just go away?
That's true. Right.
Especially for like there's like the snow, since we don't get it as much over in Southern California, um, as well as yeah, mainly one thing I'm really looking forward to is like the snow. Um, but like in the West Coast, back in Southern California, it's We're not as miserable.
Okay. So you would still pick California as for now.
Yes, as of right now, come back to me next year. We'll see how I feel.
Okay, what about you, Brother Marvin?
I thought about this, and surprisingly, I would choose Washington State's winter weather, even though I say avoid it during the winter because I think I have a close affinity to that state. It's gorgeous. You look outside your window and you see mountain ranges and evergreen trees, and it just feel the air is so crisp. It feels like you're in a movie in the winter time. It's great. So as long as you take your vitamin D pills, you're gonna have a great time in Washington State in the winter.
Okay, great answers. I like those very interesting answers, brothers. But before we let you go, would you like to share your special greetings, Brother Marvin?
I'd like to give a special greeting to my family in Washington State. I miss and love you all. And a special shout out also to my significant other, Sister Nigel and Ibarra.
And Brother Lionel?
So I did want to shout out a couple of people in the chat first. Sister Arnie Jane D, she corrected me in the chat. I'm sorry. And also Brother Jeb Barrientos. He's my old Kia Tech back in Orange County, California. Special shout out to the INCRadio Orange County, California crew. I miss you guys, as well as all of my friends and family there in Orange County, California, the locale congregation of Montclair back home, as well as some of my friends who I wasn't able to shout out last show. Sister Erica Celestino from across the pond and Brother Len Degala, who also shouted out me in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you again for joining us this morning. Shout out to everyone they shouted out. And thanks for all the shout outs we have in our chat. Let's check these out. So we have Gebarientos, greeting INC Radio, Washington, D.C., tuning in from INC Radio, Orange County, California, studio at the locale of hashtag Anaheim. We have Sister Grace Galarbe, happy birthday to my granddaughter, Grisila Ellie of London, Canada. See you soon. Lysel Soriano, congratulations on your graduation, Sister Elisa. Thank you so much. And so even Sister Len Cruz, good morning po, tuning in from hashtag Temple Hills. Congrats, Sister Ayasa. Thank you, thank you. We have Brother Sakulis Daniel, happy birthday po to Ka Dexter Manglikmod. And we also have our chat here responding to our questions. We have Arnie Jane D. She said, I actually moved to Texas, but I'm in Bangkok right now. We have Brother Nathaniel Russell. Texas manages to have humid heat and dry heat throughout summer. We have Brother Aldrin Gingab, hashtag Northern Virginia, East Coast, thumbs up. And we also have Sister Grace Galarpa saying, agree, layering clothes really work. So now for our CFO in action, let's check out our recent district activities. Let's check this out. On December 7, 2024, the District of Washington, D.C., Mid-Atlantic hosted its Unity Games esports event, bringing together gaming enthusiasts of all ages. The event featured a variety of popular games including Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros., and Valorant, creating an atmosphere of exciting and friendly competition. Participants ranged from casual players to competitive gamers, ensuring that everyone had an opportunity to enjoy the experience. And for our upcoming activities, we have our Book Club special gathering this weekend. Reach out to your local officers for more information. And following us today is INC Radio New Jersey. And for their special thanks, their unstoppable support, we'd like to thank our INC Radio Washington, D.C. family for supporting our broadcast, especially to our INC Radio station manager, Brother Wally Taray, our substitute president, Brother Angelo Manalo, and a very special greeting to our executive minister of Iglesianicristo Church of Christ, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you for tuning in to INC Radio Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio. Stay unstoppable. Bye.
Bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Stay warm.
Before and after I eat, I wash my hands. Here is how my mom taught me to do. First, wet your hands with clean running water and apply soap. Then lather your hands by rubbing them together with soap. Scrub your hands between your fingers and under your nails. Scrub your hands for approximately 30 seconds. Rinse your hands under clean running warm water. And dry your hands using a clean towel or air dry them.
Hello, I'm Sister Lillian Talmans, and here's how I brush my teeth as my mom taught me. Brushing your teeth after every meal or at least twice a day is another hygiene habit that everyone should have. Brushing your teeth is an important part of your dental care routine and help to prevent gum disease. Hi, I'm Katie Natividad. My mom taught me that before going to bed and after waking up in the morning, I should wash my face. I comb my hair every day so it always looks good. And I make sure my clothes are clean before I go to bed. Good night.
But it is right to show kindness.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or iglesianicristo.
Good morning, good afternoon.